Hi Capricorn, this is Tarot-blee accurate. Sorry I'm a couple days late on your monthly reading. I'm decided to do something a little bit different this time. Last month, a couple of signs had orbs show up in the middle of the day in their video, so I thought how cool would it be if we tried to do this in the dark and see what appeared. So that's the plan. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Keep your eyes peeled, I suppose, if you actually watch these instead of listening. But as I'm sitting here shuffling your cards, this one just jumped out for you, Temperance, okay? So that's important. Temperance is all about finding balance, having patience. For me, what's jumping out with this card is the red purple. So I'm going to say something you want to keep in mind is going to be showing love to others, getting in touch with your spirituality, kind of your morals, like what's right and what's wrong. So just keep that in mind as we go along. So just like last month, we will start with a couple specifics. So we're going to start in the area of career. So what is it that Capricorn needs to know about their career, February and going into March? So we have the Hermit in reverse. So perhaps right now what you're doing for your career is not really aligned with what your heart and soul desire for you. So you're going to want to take some time to do more self-reflection. You're kind of just going with the flow. How do you find what it is that you actually want to do? Figure out where it is that you actually want to be by taking time to rest. So the Ten of Swords, like this card looks really sad and kind of a bummer. He's got all these swords in his back, but he's not actually dead. You know, like those swords, maybe they're behind him. You know, he's just covering up, taking a little rest. So I'm going to say for a lot of you, it's going to be through self-reflection and meditation, finding more balance. I think you're working too hard, and it's kind of taken the love out of what you do if you ever even loved it in the first place. Going on to money or finances, what do we do about that for the month of February and March? What are the messages that you need to know? So right now, again, whoa, this guy just popped right out as well. Right now it really seems to me that you're just quite discontented. Like you're not appreciating as much the things that you do have. You're not feeling like your wishes are being fulfilled. You're feeling like you need to defend your choices, what you're doing. I would say for quite a few of you, not all of you are going to feel quite ready to leave a job and go do something new, but a lot of you are starting to feel like getting that idea in your head, okay? And those are divinely guided. Those ideas are coming to you for a reason. So just really take time to reflect and think about that. Your advice in regards to your finances. This one jumped right out. Whoa. Here we go. This is an interesting card actually to have for your advice. You know, if you pray about it, if you ask your angels, if you ask God for assistance with that, you'll have what you need. So don't be afraid to give to others. Don't be afraid to be generous. If you are being generous, what you have will be supplied to you. Does that make sense? So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be generous with money. Be generous with your time. Be generous with your love. Be generous in multiple other ways. Oh boy, this one just jumped out right as well too. I would say definitely also be generous with your love. I think this is the message that they're trying to tell you here. It seems like you're not real happy this month, but try to find that happiness. What is it that makes you happy? And then, you know, share the joy that you find with others, and everything else will fall into place, okay? In regards to your health, what are the messages that Capricorn needs to know? Got this one here. So any ideas that you've had that you've started to think about, like, oh, maybe I want to do this new thing in regards to my health. At this point, they're just ideas and you're not really acting on them, and that's okay, because right now your focus needs to be more on finding your emotional stuff first. You know, like you need to find a way to become more emotionally connected to those around you, but more importantly, like your emotional connectedness to yourself and what it is that makes you happy, and then everything else kind of aligns. So going backwards, a couple cards to this guy, figure it out. What is it that makes you happy? What talents do you have that you can share with others? What kind of ways can you help other people that bring you joy? And everything else kind of falls into place with that. In regards to your love, it is February going into March, so Valentine's Day and all of that. What is it that Capricorns need to know? Shaking these up really good here for you. I like to shuffle as I go. Sorry about my voice. I haven't been well. So this is actually exciting. This is all about new starts, new adventures, and love. And it doesn't necessarily mean meeting someone new. It could just be spicing things up in your relationship. And so perhaps that has something to do with that lack of emotional fulfillment before. If you're in a relationship, trying new things, starting new adventures, going new places, varying your routines is going to bring back, some of that like excitement and love. Some more emotional fulfillment in your life. It feels like though for a good portion of you that this is meeting a new person, new adventures in love. So the Wheel of Fortune in reverse pops up also. And so it's saying, if it doesn't happen this month, it's coming soon though. Okay. So don't be discouraged. When things are not going the way that you want them to go, remember that that's temporary. Wheels turn, right? You're not going to be at the bottom side of the wheel all the time. It's going to come back around at the top. So just remember that, okay? Advice as far as the love aspect goes. Ooh, both of these came out together. So we've got the Tower and then we have Strength in reverse. So the Tower is definitely change, but then it's like, okay, in order, for those of you who have just experienced a breakup or are going through one, the Tower, everything seems kind of upside down and backwards and like kind of traumatizing and horrible. But in order to get here to the new starts, to the excitement and things like that, you need to make sure that you're strong. You want your Strength card like this. You don't want it like this. You don't want to keep going back to the same partners, to the same bull crap that you already know about, because then you just end up here again. You don't get here. Staying in the same old situation isn't going to get you on a new adventure. People change sometimes, but more often than not, they don't. And when they do, it's small changes and they're not sustainable and, they're not new and exciting sometimes. But I would say this month, if you're considering going back to a partner that hasn't been a great partner for you or going on a new adventure, go on a new adventure. Is it going to be the love of your life that you meet, immediately? Maybe not, because that Wheel of Fortune is saying, things take a little bit of time, but maybe, you'll meet someone and initially they're not the person that like sweeps you off your feet. But in regards to like long-term potential, they end up to be your best friend, and that best friend grows into something more. So, keep your mind open. Just go do things that make you happy and seem to be more fun for you. So we're going to break this down now week by week. I wrote myself a little note here on my computer as to what the weeks turn out to be. So February 10th through February 17th, what do you want to keep your eyes out for? What do you want to be focused on, Capricorns? And we've got Two of Cups. So if you do meet a new person this week, focus on having like good communication with them, sharing, definitely. This is a really great card in terms of romance, love, any sort of partnership, work relationships. You definitely want to foster your relationships. And then going backwards to the beginning of the reading, we were talking about what's going on with your health, with your career, with all of that. You seemed a little bit unhappy, but so your challenge then to communicate with others what makes you happy about the relationships that you do have. You want to make sure that they know that they're appreciated and loved, because that'll all come back to you. And then the next week, February 18th through the 25th, what do we have? We've got the Empress in reverse, and I want one more card with that one. I feel like we need it. And then The Knight of Wands. So if somebody has maybe made you feel bad about yourself, if you're not feeling super confident and stuff, you're kind of like, you know what, I want to leave this situation. And so maybe if we're talking about jobs, like you're just like not feeling appreciated, you're not feeling awesome at work, like maybe you have an enemy or something, you kind of get excited to just like run away from whatever it is that you're doing. I would say here's what happens if you do run away. You find out a lot about yourself. You find out a lot of truths, but if you stay put where you are because of that situation when you're feeling just kind of cruddy, you know, you're going to be working a lot harder to change opinions. So usually I would say, you know, try to stick it out. Maybe there's a misunderstanding. And but I would say for like a lot of you, it's just you're not going to be focusing on self as much like you need to, as we mentioned earlier in the reading. I think you're going to be happier this time if you just move on. And maybe this isn't related to work. It could be related to a relationship. It could be related to a friendship, any other thing. But when you're not feeling real confident, sexy, when you're not feeling like real in control and you go, you know what, I want to regain control and just go, would be a good time to do that in that week of February 18th through the 25th. And then February 26th through March 4th, a lot of changes here, okay? The Death card isn't as scary as it appears. But in what are those changes in relation to? We've got Queen of Wands in reverse. So I just want to pull one more card for clarity here. Okay. So with these changes that will be occurring about February 26th through March 4th, this guy just jumped right out to the Fool. You might not be as excited as you were the week previous about it. And you're like, do I really want to put all this work into whatever it is that I'm trying to achieve? Do I really want to go on this new adventure? Do I really want to just like step off the side of a cliff, like blindfolded, you know? The Fool in reverse, which actually just fell on the floor. I kind of want to pull one more card with that just because these cards for you are so jumpy right now, Capricorn. Actually, two pulled out. Okay. So we've got the Four of Wands and the Devil card. So, but the Devil card actually appears like this in front of this one. So what I want to tell you is that, you know, if you're afraid to maybe upset what is already known, if you're afraid to make changes, because sometimes like it's new is scary and it's unknown and you're not really sure and you're like, you know what, if I stay in what I'm doing, I might not like it, but at least it's predictable. You know, like maybe I can find some happiness, maybe it's more stable. Well, that's okay, but let's talk about this. Let's figure it out. So if you act like the Fool and you just go like full-fledged, but, you know, a little more cautiously because you do have the Devil card and the Fool is in reverse, so you take cautious steps into new adventures, what happens? We've got the Magician in reverse, and then we have the Page of Cups for staying put. So the thing is like, new things are going to occur if you take that risk. If you go, you know what, I am going to do something new. I am just going to like walk over here and do this thing. The only issue is that it's like not instant gratification, but that things are going to change and they're going to get better. But it's just like you have to really be patient and wait for those. And that's super hard because when you make big changes, you want to see like validation and affirmation, like that was a good choice. But then if you like stay where it is and you fake like you're happy, it's going to be like, people are going to be like, is this person crazy? Like, we can all see through this. Like, we know you're not happy. Like, so Page of Cups, the way that this card is read by me is not read like the way that a lot of other tarot cards read it. But like this guy, he seriously looks crazy. Like, he's friggin' talking to a fish. You know, he's like, I have this cup. It's supposed to be filled with joy. Like, I'm sensitive. I'm emotional. Like, looking at this outfit, right, with the pinks and the blues. I'm a good communicator, but is he really? Because he's talking to a fish in a cup. I'm pretty sure he imagined that fish. Okay, so people are looking at you with this wavy water, like, what the hell? this person is crazy. Okay? So, I mean, people know if you're unhappy. Like, you can't fake it that long. Don't pretend like it's awesome if it's not. Take a risk. Things aren't going to be awesome and amazing like immediately, but they'll get there. So that would be my advice for you. Or not even my advice, you know, like that's advice from the universe, not from me. I'm just passing it along. And then we've got March 5th through the 12th. What do you need to know for that month? Or I'm sorry, that week of this whole month. So what is it that Capricorns need to know? We've got the Ace of Pentacles in reverse and then the Page of Pentacles. So this is like a more money-focused week, which makes sense, you know, because you just paid your rent, you just paid your mortgage. Just, whoa, this guy just jumped right out. Then we have the Chariot. Okay, so you're like, should I start this new thing? I have this awesome new idea. Maybe it's for a business or something like that. Well, that's great as long as you're considering like outside factors. As long as you're like super organized and you're super excited about it, things will turn out okay. So good for you. So Capricorns, that was kind of a lot of cards in a reading, and I don't know if anything showed up behind me. It's an experiment, we'll see. But if anything did at any point, take note if you noticed anything that that would be where you most need to focus on the messages that were passed along to you. If not, it doesn't mean that none of your messages were important. It just means that I didn't know that this was going to work and then it didn't, you know? Okay, so good luck to you. If you need more information, more clarity, further details on anything, go ahead and hit me up. My details for how to get a personal private reading are below in the comment section. Thanks again for watching. If it's your first time, thanks. If you're coming back, thanks again for your support. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you again soon. Bye, Capricorns. Mwah.